Okay, let's dive into this. Welcome to today's Explainer, where we're unpacking some truly eye-opening medical insights together. Have you ever wondered what doctors absolutely avoid doing in their own lives? Well, today we're looking at the top 10 worst daily habits for your health. This comes straight from the clinical experience of Dr. Tetsuya Isero. He's a specialist in urology and gastroenterology, and he sees over 30,000 patients every single year. And what he reveals is honestly fascinating. You see, our daily lifestyle choices aren't just minor details in the background. They actually act as the ultimate multiplier for our cancer risk.
To really grasp why this is so critical, we've got to start with a pretty staggering reality. Right now, 1 in 2 people will experience cancer in their lifetime. Literally, half of us. You might be wondering, why is that number so incredibly high? Well, it's mostly because as human lifespans increase, our cells naturally age and deteriorate. It's just a biological reality of living longer. As we age, our cells become way more prone to mutations.
And unfortunately, we have to follow that up immediately with an even starker statistic. 1 in 3 people will ultimately pass away from cancer. Now look, these numbers absolutely aren't here to scare you, but they do establish the incredibly high stakes of managing our daily habits. It simply means we can't afford to just sit back and be passive about our health.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is that it's not just some boring listicle. It's a comprehensive roadmap of your body's daily systems. We're going to cover 1. The truth about cancer. 2. 2 dangerous daily vices. 3. Diet and food risks. 4. Weight and exercise balance. 5. Sleep and unexpected risks. And finally, 6. Start your prevention today.
Section 1. The truth about cancer.
Moving right along to Section 2, 2 dangerous daily vices. Let's talk about the most obvious culprits first. In Japan, smoking causes a massive 24% of all male cancers and 4% of female cancers. And guys, it doesn't just add a tiny bit of risk, it aggressively multiplies it. Smokers face 5.5 times the risk for throat cancer, almost 5 times the risk for lung cancer, and nearly 3.5 times the risk for esophageal cancer compared to non-smokers. And it doesn't even stop at your respiratory system. It's a direct cause of bladder, colon, and kidney cancers too. It's basically a toxin that touches absolutely everything inside you.
Then there's alcohol. We really need to debunk this persistent myth that a little alcohol is somehow good for you. The latest medical consensus? Yeah, it totally says otherwise. Having just 1 drink a day over 10 years raises your overall cancer risk by 5%. But if you drink about 3 beers a day, which is roughly 46 grams of alcohol, your risk skyrockets by 40%. 40%! And here's the truly terrifying part about how we process alcohol. The liver is a silent organ. It literally won't show any symptoms of damage until it is 70% destroyed. By the time you actually feel something is wrong, the damage is already severe.
All right, Section 3, Diet and Food Risks.
What's really fascinating here is Dr. Isero's highly actionable dietary checklist to mitigate these risks. First up, excess sodium directly spikes your stomach cancer risk, so try swapping regular salt for potassium-rich salt options. Second, if you're a huge fan of ramen, and who isn't, try swapping those high-calorie noodles for 50-calorie konjac noodles. It cuts down on both salt and empty calories. Finally, you absolutely must reduce processed meats. Things like ham, sausage, bacon. The World Health Organization actually classifies processed meats in the top tier of carcinogens, like right up there alongside tobacco.
Now, consider this number, 40%. That is the percentage of esophageal cancers directly caused by a lack of vegetables and fruits in a person's diet. It's also responsible for roughly 18% of stomach and larynx cancers. You need about 400 grams, which is basically 2 full handfuls of veggies and fruits every single day. Why? Because they provide the vital antioxidants and dietary fiber your cells desperately need to fight off inflammatory damage.
And while we're on the topic of food, we've got to talk about red meat. Heavy consumption of red meat is specifically linked to colon cancer, which, by the way, happens to be the most common cancer in Japan right now. So what's the medical advice? Eat more fish, embrace a traditional balanced diet, and, this is absolutely crucial, get a colonoscopy. Seriously, modern colonoscopies use sedatives so you can just take a nice, painless snap through the whole thing. And the best part is, doctors can actually find and remove precancerous polyps right then and there. It stops colon cancer before it even has a chance to start.
Let's move to and see how this builds into Section 4, weight and exercise balance.
Let's address obesity, which is defined medically as having a body mass index, or BMI, over 25.
Excess visceral fat doesn't just sit there doing nothing. It actively causes chronic, body-wide inflammation and increases your risk for diabetes. This chronic inflammatory state significantly lowers your immune system's ability to fight off mutating cells, bumping up your overall cancer risk by 6%. Interestingly, though, Dr. Isotero notes that for folks who are really struggling, modern GLP-1 medications like Ozempic or Mounjaro are highly effective, completely valid medical tools to safely manage this risk and lower body weight.
And this brilliantly illustrates a massive disconnect in our modern world, the societal ideal versus the medical ideal. Society often pushes this crazy beauty standard of a BMI under 20, driving people to become excessively thin. But medically speaking, being too thin actually spikes your mortality and cancer risks. No way, right? The medical ideal for a long, healthy life is actually a BMI between 23 and 27. Yes, that means a slightly chubby, middle-aged body with a little bit of belly fat is actually medically the healthiest and most resilient. To maintain that healthy middle ground, exercise is non-negotiable. But hey, it doesn't have to be extreme. The golden medical target is just 150 minutes of aerobic exercise a week. If you break that down, it's literally just a fun, 30-minute brisk walk 5 days a week. Achieving this super manageable level of movement improves your blood circulation, keeps your organs functioning properly, and statistically lowers your overall cancer risk by a remarkable 20%.
Next up, Section 5, Sleep and Unexpected Risks.
Did you know that the temperature of your morning coffee could actually be a risk factor? Drinking piping hot liquids over 70 degrees Celsius, that's about 158 degrees Fahrenheit, physically burns the delicate lining of your esophagus. When those cells burn and die, your body has to rush to regenerate them. If you do this every single day, you're creating a continuous cycle of cellular inflammation and forced regeneration. And this constant, rapid cell division directly creates a pathway to esophageal cancer. So just let your drinks cool down to a cozy 50 degrees Celsius before you take a sip, okay?
Next is the ultimate silent killer, poor sleep. If you are consistently sleeping under 6 hours a night, you are absolutely devastating your immune system. The data clearly shows that sleeping less than 6 hours raises your overall cancer risk by 40% compared to those getting 7 hours or more. It specifically doubles the risk of breast cancer and significantly increases the risk of prostate cancer. You see, sleep is when your body actively hunts down and destroys mutating cells. So please don't cut that crucial process short. To fix this, you really need strict sleep hygiene. Dr. Isero recommends going to bed and waking up at the exact same time every day and taking a warm bath to help regulate your core temperature. Crucially, avoid alcohol before bed. I know a nightcap might knock you out initially, but it totally disrupts your sleep architecture and causes early awakenings. And finally, the blue light from your smartphone tricks your brain into thinking it's still daytime, keeping you wide awake. So a 1-hour digital detox before bed is absolutely vital to let your brain transition into deep, restorative rest. So the crucial point is, Section 6, start your prevention today.
It's super easy to feel completely overwhelmed by all this data, but consider this fantastic quote from Dr. Isero. You don't need to change everything at once. Just start fixing what you can for a longer, healthier life. You really do not have to overhaul all 10 of these habits overnight. Health isn't about absolute perfection. It's about your trajectory. By making small, incremental lifestyle changes, like swapping out your salt, taking a 30-minute walk, or just putting your phone away an hour before bed, you create massive, compounded health benefits over time. You're basically giving your immune system the upper hand. Our bodies are built to heal, provided we just give them the right environment. So I'm going to leave you with this final thought to chew on. Out of the 10 daily habits we explored today, which single one will you commit to changing today? Remember, the power to multiply your health is entirely in your hands. Thank you so much for learning with me today, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.